Let's start with multiplayer. We're gonna start with the absolute best thing about Halo 5. I want to talk about the amazeballs multiplayer in this video game. In my opinion, guys, the best Halo multiplayer since 2. I know a lot of Halo 3 fans are gonna freak out when I say that. I think this is the best Halo multiplayer since 2.
I think that this is the best Halo multiplayer. I think this outdoes Halo 2.
Wow.
I think going back to
now
Halo
I'm calling you crazy. Sorry.
Going back to Halo 2 and Anniversary, I was like, man, this is like the level design is basically perfect. These maps are incredible. Dual wielding is a lot of fun in this game. But mechanically, I think the improvements in Halo 5 with the thrusting, the mantling, all of that stuff really, really makes for a more interesting multiplayer experience. Plus, there is a greater variety of excellent weapons.
Yeah.
All of which, kind of just contributes to a really incredible feeling game. I think the level design in Halo 5's maps isn't perfect. I think I can't name any of them. I don't know any of them off by heart.
That round ship level. But we've only had it for a little bit of time.
It is very early, and maybe something will cement itself in my mind later. Actually, I lied. Plaza is awesome. I really love
that's
Plaza.
a great map. Plaza's a great map. The rig too is the other probably early standout for me. I love that it's got a bottomless pit in the middle of it that if you're not careful,
So I found out that there's a secret, not secret, you can see it if you're looking, but there's a ramp down there that allows you to not fall into that pit.
So it's like if you start falling, you can just thrust to the side and catch yourself on the lip.
And that's what happened is I did it by accident yesterday. I was playing SWAT and someone shot at me and I jumped over to where the active camo normally is and I missed the platform.
You overshot it.
And I was like, no! And I just thrusted backwards and landed on the platform and was like,
I'm good.
I'm alive.
Hey, there's a ramp here. And then I looked around and I was like, it goes over there. And I ran over. It's pretty cool.
So, Destin, you've played a little bit of multiplayer so far, right?
Yeah, not very good at it. Full disclosure. I'm kind of getting used to it. It's very different from any of the other Halos. Going back and playing 2 during the anniversary, it's like this feels really, really slow, and Halo 5 is very fast-paced, very fast-paced. And I'm kind of getting used to how ghosts aren't like invulnerable anymore. Like you're not invincible pretty much.
And I got my Scorpion killed in a game last night, a Warzone game last night, by a ghost.
Go figure.
What? Like vehicles are not the be all end all anymore.
No. I was playing Warzone and I got a score. I saved up my points. I grabbed a scorpion. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go wreck some shop. We're gonna make some progress for our team here. A dude in a Banshee wrecked me. It's just because you're so slow in the Scorpion by design. The Banshee just floating around, just shooting me. And I didn't even do anything. I was like, I'm just dead. But Mitch, I mean, I definitely agree with you on the movement front. The Spartan abilities, the thruster stuff, the ground pound, all that is just phenomenal. And really, it's a great, I think, evolution. I think it evolves Halo 2 specifically, because Halo 3 sort of started going down the road with the power-ups, the equipment.
Oh, yeah.
The deployable equipment.
Bubble shield and stuff like that.
So it wasn't an even playing field, right? That's where and then, of course, Reach, they went further down that road. 4 continued down that road as well. And 5, I think, goes back to 2 and continues evolves off of that specifically.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear they looked at Halo 2 and said, what if we did this?
Yeah.
And then built on
Everybody's really balanced. Nobody has an edge with their default abilities.
And while maybe in time I'll come to agree with you on 5 being the best Halo multiplayer ever, for now, I admit it's still very early, but for now, it's for the Halo 2, the fact that they're, by the end of that game, by the end of that whole product cycle, there were 23 maps, of which 20 of them weren't just good but amazing.
Yeah.
And so, I'm not, Halo 5's maps seem good so far, but we mentioned a couple of good ones, but I just don't think they're across the board legendary maps yet.
Nothing. There is no lockout. There is no midship.
No.
But
my favorite one's
really
the blue one from the beta, where it's
Empire.
Man, I
really like that one.
Both variants are cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they play differently enough. So let's go ahead, Sean. You're about to...
Yeah, I don't know if I think it's too early to call Halo 5 the best multiplayer yet. and it's too difficult to say that Halo 2 is the best multiplayer for me because they're all just like products of the time that we played them in. Like
course.
to a lot of people, GoldenEye is the best multiplayer game of all time
Right.
because they remember playing it when they were kids.
Of
and it was
course.
And your
amazing.
memory of that is not at all representative
like, have
of
you
what
played
that
it
game
now?
is.
Like it's crazy. And I went back and played a lot of Halo 2 and Halo 3 multiplayer in the Master Chief Collection, and honestly, both of them they're slow. Like they're pretty slow. I think that the movement abilities, while people criticize Halo 5, at least I've seen tweets that are like, it's just Halo of Duty, like Call of Duty, like it's
Disagree.
Advanced Warfare, and I'm like,
Nope.
why? Because you
Disagree.
can boost. Like that's the only. It's not the same at all. Like the movement is very, very. It's much faster than it used to be. It's a lot more fast paced. You're sprinting around. Maps as a result are a lot bigger and more complex.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like I've found, like when I play SWAT now, which I love
SWAT is phenomenal.
so
Cannot
much.
get enough.
First of all, I
felt so
love that
good.
they divided it into battle rifles only or magnums only, just like straight level playing field.
Yep.
I mean, great that I did have fun in previous Halos, switch to the pistol and just catch some people off guard. But I like that it's totally even playing field. But like I find that in Arena, I'll sprint and I'll all over the place. Warzone, especially because the maps are huge. But I find that my strategy has to change with SWAT because like I don't
definitely.
want to sprint because then it takes me an
can't
extra
be-
second to stop and pop.
And you can't be so careless too. You're running around and there's people who are looking at the sight lines. You cross, all it takes is one shot.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, you don't have a shield to protect you. You can't take a shot or two while crossing a sight line. You'll just get headshot instantly.
It's not likely you're going to be doing like the ground slide thing, like I
Yeah.
thought I could without
Yeah.
just getting punished for it.
like in the rare times that I don't get insta headshot, I instantly boost to avoid getting insta headshot.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I mean, honestly, like so far, I've put about 20 hours into the multiplayer already. I placed in Diamond, which was cool.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm running with my crew. I'm pretty hardcore about Halo. This is the thing, is like, it's almost too hardcore. Like, I play it, I get really angry, and I get like,
Yeah.
I was like that in Halo
You're
2.
me when I played Dota.
yeah, like when I'm, even these are the people that I play a lot of Destiny with. They're my friends. We play, I play Destiny a lot too, but it's much more casual. And I'm like, if people are dying or doing stupid stuff, I'm like, whatever. But if like I die and
Now
my
you're like,
buddy's
"Get
like
it
baiting me,
together."
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, back me up, man. Throw a grenade. Like he's right behind you.
That's
And, like,
especially frustrating in Breakout because it is such a great, smart, focused competitive mode that
Yeah.
like when someone's down and they're out, like that person feels bad because
Yeah.
they know they goofed, like they were in a bad spot, they got
Well-
cocky, they were going for a weapon, they couldn't make it.
And even on the stream yesterday, me and Mitch were like, what is this green otter guy doing? And then round after round, this green otter guy was the last one
The
alive
only one
and
alive.
like saving our team. And we were like,
He's like,
That
got the
guy's-
flag,
yeah.
he's running back.
And you're like, wait, what is that Green Otter guy
wait,
doing?
so-
Because
we were
it's
like,
working.
Yeah, eventually we were like, he's making. We at first we thought he was making all the wrong decisions, and then it turns out he like won it for our team.
God tier. God tier.
But yeah, I mean, it focuses much more on like the competitive. I think that's my overall criticism of Halo is like you can tell it's a very multiplayer focused game. Like the multiplayer is great. In fact, it's superb, I would say, and it kind of falters in the other aspects of the game.
Well,
which
we'll
I'm
get
sure
to
we'll
that.
talk about.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But I like that you brought up Breakout because for me, I like Breakout. I don't love it, but I hardly dislike. There's nothing in Halo multiplayer that I dislike, but I find that I like that Arena has a very different feel, and you can just be in a different mood for it than for Breakout and for Warzone. Like it sort of occupies its own niche. It's like half SWAT and half Team Slayer, right? 'Cause you have multiple weapons, but you also have it's like
shield.
SWAT style where you don't have shields.
It's also fully Counter-Strike. No respawn, objective.
right,
in the middle
no
that both teams are going
respawns.
for.
And it's funny they added since the beta they added the flags in there. And
Yeah.
when we were recently, we were at a preview event with 343. I was like, what's the point of this flag? Because you just kill the other team. You don't worry about the flag. But then they made a great point. If you do get that guy that just likes to hide back and just try to be the last guy alive and let everyone else kill each other, or run out the clock so that it ties, the other team can just okay, if you're gonna hide, we'll just grab your flag, take it back, and win. So,
I agree.
We got screwed
that
about that a couple times on the stream too. Like
yeah,
we were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're trying to find the guys. We're gonna go get the kit. We lost. They got
Yeah.
the flag. Crap.
I like the idea of a flag mechanic. I wish it had been implemented a little bit differently, and this just comes back to the way I play Counter-Strike, or the way Counter-Strike is played competitively, which is like if someone in Breakout, if someone takes the flag, there's no opportunity, like you kill him, but there's no opportunity to return it, or if he's taking it, like return it, like kill him and then take it back to yours. Like there's no opportunity. Like where in Counter-Strike, if the terrorists plant the bomb, there's 45 seconds where the CTs have to defuse the bomb. Like it forces them to come and work
it
towards
changes
it
the
back.
pace, it changes the tone, everything gets
Basically what I'm saying is I wish it
crazy.
had, instead of a flag, it had been a bomb. Like and
straight up just do Counter-Strike if you're going to do it.
Or Halo 2 had Assault, remember, which was
but
virtually
like,
the same thing.
Basically, yeah, if there's one person who's hiding in a corner or something like that, force him with some mechanic to draw out and confront the other team.
Yeah.
But give him an opportunity to actually win it. Because that's the thing is, like, if it's 2v1 or 3v1 and that team has the flag and it's 3v1, there's no way that dude's going to win. Like, unless he's, Ogre 2 or something. But,
So let's talk let's spend a few minutes now on what has quickly become, with all due respect to Arena, which is great, but probably the favorite of Halo 5 multiplayer, the one that I'm seeing a lot of people talk about. Like, holy cow, this is really good. And that is Warzone, which Mitch started to touch on. Mitch, tell me why you like Warzone so much.
Warzone is really good because it mixes a lot of my favorite elements of other games into a very big Halo. Like, obviously the big talk coming into it was it's got a lot of MOBA stuff, and I think that's a little overblown. It's not super MOBA influenced, but there's enough where it's like, yes, it's great that there are like neutrals that you can take down that are worth taking down because it gives your team victory points.
Yes.
Your base is defended by basically creeps. That stuff is super useful and super interesting, especially because Marines will kill you.
Yeah,
they're not jokers.
They're Halo AI cranked up usually.
Yeah. So it's probably the biggest and most varied of Halo's multiplayer, I think, because your attention is constantly drawn in different directions, and everything you need to do is valuable, but you have to kind of focus on where do I and my fire team want to go? Where do we want to focus on? How do we want to get points? Do we want to go get kills in the enemy base and take it over? Do we want to like choke them out and then take down their core to instantly win? Do we want to go focus on neutrals because we're a little bit behind? It's a lot to think about, and it's the most, I think, like intensely competitive mode in Halo 5, even more than Arena, I think, just because there's so much more options to win that it is more challenging for a competitive team to actually come out on top.
So I like Warzone, but I'm not in love with it. A lot of people are really, really loving Warzone. I think it's just good. For me, the matches are very, very long. Like I think the matches we were playing is like
they're
at
20
least
to 30
minutes.
No, they max out at 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. But like just it's a lot of just gathering points and capturing bases and holding them, and it takes too long to reach an ending, and there's no way to really speed it up quickly because of the way the enemies spawn in.
But then you've got other modes if you want a quicker game, though.
Yeah, I know that. I'm saying I don't like Warzone because it's too long. Yeah, and like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me. I don't like that 30 minutes slowly gathering points mode. I would rather
go on for a long time.
Yeah. I would rather hop into something like SWAT. I'm not saying it's a bad mode. I don't want anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you're the kind of person when you log into Halo, like you want to play as many games as possible and just like gimme.
Yeah, I want to play like one or two matches, sign off, or I want to stay all night and play like team-based games or SWAT.
I can totally see why people like it. It's a really great change of pace. For me, it's not Halo. Like
it's different. It's a MOBA.
To me,
that's what I see it as.
Yeah, to me, well,
I mean, it's a different. Yeah. It's very different design philosophies, and then they just kind of like drop Halo 5 in the middle of it, and they're like, "How does it work?" Pretty well,
right?
Turns out,
yeah,
cool,
and
but
that's
I agree,
the thing,
it's
like,
not what you expect from Halo at all.
Yeah, and I mean, just me personally, like so much of my Halo history has been 4v4 Team Slayer. Like that's it. Like no oddball, no assault, no any of the other modes. Or I mean CTF obviously, but that's it. So like, just as someone who's a creature of habit and I like the things that I like and I like to stick to them because I know they're good, I don't generally like to step out of bounds when it comes to things.
You're missing
like
out.
That.
You're on
ball. Like, I mean, I've played those
Warzone.
modes and stuff, like, and a lot of them are fun. Like, I loved Rocket Race and Griffball and Juggernaut from the old Halos.
Rocket Race was so great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I forgot about that.
But they're fun once in a while, but not something you want to play exclusively.
I only look at it as a nice change of pace. Like, if I'm getting bored or too frustrated with Arena, or my team is like I'm angry at my team or they're angry at me because we suck, then let's jump into some Warzone, because at least then I can just turn off my brain and we could talk about something else and just do stuff.
And I think big reason why I like Warzone. Not only is it well done, but again, if you look at Halo 5 multiplayer on a micro level, it's phenomenal because Arena's great, Breakout's excellent, Warzone's fantastic, and then you look at it again as on a macro level, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Just like Arena has a very different feel, and you're in a different mood for it than Breakout. Then it's the same thing. Warzone, just like there's nothing that overlaps where it's just like
these modes could be similar,
right?
Yeah.
That you could never confuse them, but yet they're all still Halo.
Totally.
But they're very different experiences.
Yeah.
Warzone is the 20+ minute, long drawn out. Sort of. You kind of have to be. You can freelance a little bit, but it's better if you work with a fire team.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But then there's also the more kind of almost meta game that, like, Mitch, I know you were getting into with the rec packs.
Yeah.
Where that sort of changes
I don't
the whole...
understand those really, like how that
Destiny,
works.
it's
How
not that hard.
you open them up, but then I have like 5 of a ghost. So like, can I use all those, or do I just
sell
sell
them
them
back.
to buy
Yeah,
everything?
sell them back.
What
So
I
I'll
did last
never,
night-
I'll never like use all my ghosts. Once I
could.
have one, I'm
So
good.
basically, you have a
it's
deck.
not a consumable. Like once you
Yeah.
have the card, you have the card.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
No,
thought it was.
some of them
yeah.
are consumable.
Yeah, I thought it was you
well,
have
like,
access
some of
to
them are
15
not,
ghosts.
but some of them are.
And after
The
you have
weapons,
summoned 15
weapons
ghosts.
and like vehicles are not consumables. I think.
I thought vehicles
No,
were.
they are.
Like if you have 10
okay,
warthogs,
maybe I'm not-
I think
See,
after you
it's
summon,
not that clear.
I think
is it?
after you summon 10
Yeah.
warthogs, you no longer have access to the warthog. Like you need to unlock a scorpion tank card to get access to it, and then once you use that card, I think you need to get more scorpion cards to be able to actually summon a scorpion.
Huh.
So then, do you sell it or do you keep it?
And
you know,
exactly, and that becomes
that's
the
where game
risk,
comes
right?
in,
Like
yeah.
last night, I sold off probably 4,000 points worth of cards, which is a lot because everything is worth 50 or 75
Yeah.
points each. Because I was like, well, like the Needler is really good, but it's just not what I'm going to be using in this multiplayer mode. So I sold all of them except one. So it's like if I need to break glass in case of emergency, I have that Needler.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to get more later. But I don't need 40 mongooses. Mongeese?
Mongeese.
Mangoose. So I got rid of most of those, and it gave me more points to buy more packs to get better weapons. And
By the
more
way,
skins and
real
cool stuff.
quick, you mentioned the Needler. I was playing just free for all in the arena. Don't sleep on the Needler in Halo
really
5 multiplayer.
good.
Yeah.
A dude's like shooting at me. I don't even know, assault rifle, whatever he had, and if you just keep that reticle trained on him,
He's done.
you just unload that trigger, and then you just kind of move away, and then you wait for it. Boom, he's dead. The Needler will, and there's enough ammo to take out 2, maybe 3 guys with it. It is pretty potent in Halo 5.
Yeah, if you fight an enemy who doesn't have the ability to move laterally, like if he's in a corridor or something, yeah, it can be really devastating. Otherwise, they can be kind of easy to dodge.
Especially with the thrust.
Yeah.
Thrust is a really great counter to
Oh, and if you're not using thrust like all the time,
my God,
You
yeah,
got
you
to
need
train
to.
retrain your brain. You've been playing
And like
Halo
jumping
for,
and hovering.
yeah.
It's been what, 12, 13 years of Halo without 14 years of Halo.
The thrust is so infinitely useful. Like I'm the player who I'm even just when I'm running around the map, not fighting, but like looking for people, I'm jumping just because I have ADD. I'm like I have to be
Yeah.
pressing buttons. But now like I'll be sprinting and then I'll boost around a corner, or like I'll jump off a ledge and then boost underneath it to the lower platform. Like the amount of like sort of variation it gives you in your movement just makes for it's way fun to use, and then it also actually makes you much more dangerous.
Now,
to
Sean,
fight.
Mr. Serious Halo multiplayer guy,
Yeah.
have you managed to pull off the move yet? And I think I've done this once in the beta, but not since the retail final game came out. Have you done the baller move yet, where a dude is chasing you, you jump up, thrust behind him, land, and then assassinate him?
So I haven't assassinated him yet, but I do that all the time. It's like if I know someone's behind me, I'll jump and thrust over them, or like
Yeah.
if they,
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to be. You can boost in any direction.
Jump,
Yeah.
thrust, ground pound. Could you get that done?
There's not enough time.
Yeah. There's no time.
So then go ahead, Dustin.
I want to be positive about Warzone for a second. There is one thing I really like. Let's say I know there's a base and everybody's fighting over there, and I'm just like, I'm not going to be able to contribute there. I do have that option of going and fighting the
Yeah,
AI
you can
events.
go contribute
It
to your
is-
team.
If
Yeah,
you-
I
it is
really
a-
like that because like everybody can have a little part.
It is
Yes.
a mode that
Yeah.
actually like if you're running a full, have any of you guys run a full 12 yet for Warzone?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I was running a full 12. Every single one of us was in the party and in the game, and we just rolled people all day long. Like it is a mode that like you benefit a lot from having great communication. And
Right,
teamwork,
like being able to
which
say,
is
like, I'm in
awesome.
West Armory, but
Yeah.
our, the spire is being taken. Somebody go back.
Yeah, and there's
three
time
people
to
go, "We
react
got
too.
it."
It's like, okay, well, you have one person who's defending your core, and then you lose all the bases, and you're like, hey, they're coming to the core, and it's like your teammate has time to walk over there and like help you guys out. Like you dying isn't the end of the game.
I don't know why this thought just occurred to me. Maybe this is super obvious to everyone else, and I'm just late to the party. But I just realized that Halo has driven features on the console for a long time because it's the big game on the system. Did Party Chat just get up to 12 players specifically for Warzone?
Guaranteed.
Released it a little while
Yeah, it was a
ago.
while ago.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
definitely
It was
in
for Halo.
preparation
It was
for
for
Halo.
sure.
Like I don't
Yep.
know why that just like
Yeah.
I'll bet it was specifically for Halo.
It was.
We noticed it. I noticed it like maybe a month or two ago when all of a sudden, like we were playing Destiny and we had like 12 or 13 people in the party, and I was like, has
Well,
it
it's 12.
always been like this? I mean, it was more than like the original.
Yeah,
6.
more than 8.
Yeah.
Well,
8
I
what
guess
it
on
was.
Xbox One, it started.
It was like a month ago, Ryan.
Yeah,
when
it was
when they
recent.
added it.
I don't know
well,
what
yeah.
it is. Max 12. Do we know?
It
that?
is. Yeah, they just
Party Chat.
Yes, it's 12 now.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
mean, we noticed that a while ago, but it's an interesting change, and that is, yeah, I'm sure they were forward thinking about Halo.
So
in that regard.
the fact that we didn't talk about this at all probably is a good thing. But has anybody noticed any like latency or?
Well, no, that's a great. I wanted to bring that up.
Me-
a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. It's been like 99%
I haven't had a
incredible.
problem. Yeah.
Matchmaking's super fast.
Yeah.
Performance, by and large, on the servers has been great. Yesterday, Sean and I had a little bit of lag.
Yeah.
Where we were like a little bit jumping around. And then last night when we were playing, I played with James Faulkner from IGN. And we were playing Breakout. And I thought, like, man, I am laying into this dude with an SMG at point blank range, and his shields aren't even popping. Or like, in a basic arena.
I haven't had a single.
Yeah.
Everything's been.
I was going to
butter for
say,
me.
on my end, I haven't noticed any. Like, so we got a bunch of questions about the stability of the servers while we were on
and
stream.
we were super positive about it. 'cause
Yeah, and I
it's
mean,
a
that's the
super
thing. Is I
positive
haven't
experience.
noticed any issues at all. I think, like,
I had one experience with you the first night where we were playing Warzone and we were at like 750 points, and all of a sudden I just got kicked back to the menu.
oh.
And I was just sitting there, and it's like attempting to rejoin, and it never rejoined. So I'm like,
Yeah, but
I
that's just because you
guess
live in
I'm
the
out.
boonies and have 56K.
No, I have really good internet. You probably have a worse connection
But-
than I do.
I have good internet.
But by and large, this was. We talked about it many times on the show leading up to this. The Master Chief Collection online problems really
Yeah, they're gone.
damaged the brand.
They
and
had to get Halo 5 right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was, and they absolutely did.
Yeah,
and I
I
know,
think so.
I tweeted that. I put that out there. I said, hey, we all moan and complain when big games with multiplayer launch in busted states. So how about let's all take a minute to salute 343 and Microsoft for getting Halo 5 right.
Absolutely.
And I got a handful, most everybody totally agreed with it, got a lot of retweets, etc. But a handful of people were like, why should we? That's how it's supposed to be. Well, yes, but in the real world, like look around you at how many bad launches in games there have been.
Yeah.
Also,
The whole reason we hold our review score is because there's been
right.
so many bad
Let's
launches,
reinforce the good and say,
Yeah.
good job 343
Totally.
and
Yeah.
Microsoft for nailing this, because
And they really did.
it's quick to get into a game with matchmaking. The partying up is easy. Everything just works exactly as it's supposed to work.
also
and
the
it's
people
great.
who are less than thankful about things like that are, one, I think they're cynical. Like, yeah, I mean, maybe technically, in an ideal world,
Yeah, they're
things
not
should
wrong.
release
Yeah, they're not
the
wrong,
right way. But these games are hard. Like, it's hard to get millions and millions of people across the world networked well, and it's not an easy thing to do. So give them credit where credit's due.
Yeah, and
Be
then
a pal.
the last thing I wanted to point out on the topic of multiplayer is, we've just got done talking about how this is our favorite multiplayer since at least 2, if not ever. And what's awesome is not only, yes, we have a lot of free maps coming, like 20 of them or 18 of them, however many it is, but there's still 2 major components of Halo 5 multiplayer that we'll be getting for free coming up soon-ish, and that's Big Team Battle, complete with its own set of Big Team Battle specific maps, so bigger than Arena, smaller than Warzone maps, and Forge, which they've shown off in a video, and it has been
It looks good.
It has been
So
stepped
excited
way
for
up
that.
since
Me
last
and Mitch
gen.
talked about it a lot on the stream. it is a different Forge than you remember. It's all the customizability and options and sort of creativeness that you can do when designing levels and maps and environments and modes. But it's actually way easier to source items, and it's more like it's just way more intuitive. So it'll
I
be,
cannot wait until all the old maps are rebuilt in Forge. People are going to do that.
Well,
for sure.
me and
They're
Mitch
going
were
to
talking
rebuild their
about, like,
favorites.
I want people. They'll rebuild the favorites, but I think people will want to build their own Warzone maps.
Oh yeah,
Like, I think that would be
it'll be a big project, but it could be some good
well,
stuff.
we were saying it would be great if you made like at minute 1 the first NPC to spawn was worth 9,999 points, and you make it just this insanely powerful single entity that everyone convenes to fight.
Right.
And
Just
it would
like
be
a big
chaos.
boss
It's like
fight.
the least balanced
Yeah.
thing in the world, right? Because ultimately it's not about damage; it's about the last hit.
Yeah.
and that person's gonna win.
Yeah.
But people are going to focus on that because you're not going to go capture control points instead because
No,
they're going to win
that's
if they kill it.
999 points. Like, you can win right there with killing them once. But yeah, I think people are going to get really creative with modes like that, and you'll get a Griff Ball, or you'll get like a Juggernaut, or you get modes that like become classic Halo when people are given the ability to use something like the Forge. It's a
actually-
powerful tool.
It's really disappointing to me that those Forge maps are actually in the game right now because they're really bad. By themselves, those maps are not good. They look
Who
bad. They
knows?
look unfinished. They are structured in a way that's meant to be modified, which means they're not fun to play in right now. I really don't like those two maps.
One of them, I can't remember now.
One
I
of
can't
them-
keep them straight.
Osiris
the
is
one
the one
with the
with the-
giant stair, like the one that's like just a big staircase, basically going up to.
Oh, I didn't play that one.
I can't remember if it's one's Pegasus and one's Orion. They were in the beta.
That's what I was
One of
thinking.
them
It's
I
gotta be Pegasus.
super don't like, but then the other one that has sort of a rocky area off to one side.
Oh yeah, I think that's
That's the one I played SWAT on.
I think that's Orion.
Yeah,
Maybe
that one,
Osiris
that
is
one I'm
as well.
okay with, but yeah, then the other one that's just like
I remember liking both.
didn't like it anyway.
Yeah.
So
They
yeah,
don't-
this
they could be better.
great stuff with Halo 5 multiplayer. I mean, that's a big reason why the game got a 9 from IGN, is because the multiplayer is that a 9 by IGN's definition is
Amazing.
not only amazing, but means or I should say, the editor's choice designation for IGN is a game we would recommend to anyone, and because of multiplayer, we totally recommend it to anyone.